The Stephen A. Smith Show starts right now.
What's up, everybody? To the latest edition of the Stephen A. Every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio and ESPN News, 250 plus markets across the United States of America, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. Need seats to a game? Download the Vivid Seats app and enter promo code CHAMPS at checkout to get 10% off your first order. Don't buy just any seat. Get a Vivid Seat. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Before I get into anything, I got to tell you something right now. What I'm seeing this season, right now, with what's going on in baseball, it's shocking to see the reigning defending World Series champions look as pathetic as they have looked, and Chris Sale looking as bad as he has looked. I mean, my goodness, he's winless, got an ERA over 8, already got 4 losses on the season, which is about as much as he had all of last season. They're 6-12, already 7.5 games back before they've had an opportunity to do anything, particularly after they lost to the Yankees. I mean, this is one of them situations where you're looking at the Boston Red Sox right now, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on? I can't believe that I'm starting off my radio show with the Boston Red Sox. I mean, it's pretty bad. And Sale, it's shocking. It's shocking to see how bad he has looked thus far. It really is. I mean, I'm stunned. I'm absolutely positively stunned. Not early, it's 162 games in the baseball season. Yesterday, they lost to the New York Yankees 8-0. My Yankees. Sale lasted 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 6. I mean, but we expect more from him. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely positively stunned. So we got to spend time thinking about what Boston is going to need to do to resurrect themselves, and we'll get into that another day. As for my Yankees, I'm just happy right now. I'm happy that they ain't lose to the Boston Red Sox. I'm happy that I ain't have to worry about that. Kick their tails. I don't want to figure out a way to remedy. Yankees are 7-9. They ain't that damn impressive. I mean, when you look at them, they're only 2 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox. They haven't been that damn impressive. I know Tampa's not going to last. 13-4 is not going to last. But I still expected more from the New York Yankees. Right now, the New York Yankees, the only reason they're relevant in the American League East is because it's a byproduct of a suspect division where Baltimore and Toronto are 7-11. And with all we're saying about Boston right now, they're still only a game behind being in 3rd place and 2 games behind of being in 2nd place in the division. You know what the hell is going on? But I'm going to keep my eyes on some of these baseball stories as the season progresses. Because there's certain things that are transpiring already that I certainly did not expect. Houston, I love their predictability at 20. They're 12-5 on the season. Philadelphia's 10-6 on the season in 1st place in the NL East. The Mets are not far behind. And DeGrom is the real deal. Love him. Milwaukee's relevant. Pittsburgh and St. Louis winning their share of games. The Los Angeles Dodgers and San Diego Padres with Manny Machado are tied for 1st place. I like that. But right now, the story of the baseball season, this young baseball season, thus far has been the Boston Red Sox and how pathetic they have looked thus far. Thus far. 888-SAY-ESPN, that's 888-729-3776. I want to get into something more. Molly Curran, my host, she walked up in it. What's up, girl? How are you doing?
Say hi. You didn't
Listen,
run out of steam yet?
excuse me.
Hello,
that's
everybody.
right. You can't just walk into studio, Molly Curran, and just talk to me.
It's you.
There's a national audience. They have to hear you.
Hello, everybody. How
This-
are we? This is your snack?
Excuse me, why you got to tell me? Why you got to tell my
Stephen A.
business?
Jack?
Listen, why you get
This
to
was like in my lunchbox in the third grade.
This is my favorite. Why you got to do
You're
this?
trying to get in shape.
Look, I am. That's why I'm cheating a little
Oh
bit. You
my
have to
gosh,
show the
we had
world I'm
DK
cheating.
Metcalf on the show today, posting pictures in his abs, and you said you were about to take it seriously.
That's right, but that's tonight, not today, Molly.
And I
Not
love
today.
how you have him hidden and shamed. All right, I'm leaving you alone. I
you
wanna
just
say.
go- you gonna
so
walk
this is
into
it,
the-
where they do the Stephen A.
This
Smith
is where
show.
they do the Stephen A. Smith show. I got you now. You know they do another show in here. Did you ever hear of Jalen and Jacoby show?
I have. I've heard
You ever heard of that show?
I've heard
I mean,
of
they do that show right in here in the
Yeah.
studio too.
Yeah, and
Did
you
you
both
know?
have the special talent of being able to talk all day.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Well, he would actually. You don't know that about me. You only know it from me for a
Yeah,
couple of
okay.
hours. With him,
4
you would know it all
hours a
day.
4 a day. Never
That's
run out of
right.
steam.
That's right.
Bye, everybody.
You
Have
know
a great
what?
day.
I'm bringing you back on. We're gonna have a Mollywood segment
I
on
would
the
love
show.
it. I want to do the relationship segment.
Really?
Yeah.
So can I be the love doctor? Will you do that?
Yeah, you can be.
All right, and you can
I'll
critique.
be the love police and help
and you
everyone.
can critique my advice.
I'd love it anytime.
Give me a high five on that. We're gonna
I'll see you in the
you're gonna
morning.
critique my advice. The wonderful, lovely, incomparable Molly Karam interrupts my radio show, but she can do that. She can get away with doing that. Nobody else can pull that off. But she can do it. I will allow that. Anyway, I digress. For good reason, by the way, because I love Molly. Here's the deal. There was a basketball game that took place last night. There was several basketball games that took place last night, but one that I'm particularly more interested in than the others. And that is the Portland Trailblazers going up 2-0 in this best of 7 first round Western Conference series against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Damian Lillard put on a show last night, and so did CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum actually had 33 points on 12 of 22 shooting, hitting all 6 of his free throws, grabbing about 8 rebounds, having about 5 assists. But Damian Lillard and some of the shots that he was making, it was something special. And it was made to be even more special because of what Damian Lillard did it against. Here's the reality of the situation. Russell Westbrook got thoroughly outplayed last night. And do we have sound from Russell Westbrook, John? Because we need to have that. We need to hear from Russell Westbrook himself about what happened and what he's going to do to remedy the situation. Because right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder are trailing this series 0-2. And oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if they don't win both of these games, the Oklahoma City Thunder are going home in 5 games. But before I get into it any further, listen to Russell Westbrook talk about what transpired in the Thunder's 20-point loss to the Trailblazers last night.
They won their first 2 home games. Obviously, we wanted to try to steal one when we can, but let's just stay with it. We're a great basketball team. A lot of great guys on the team that I trust in their abilities to make shots and make plays on both sides of the basketball. And we'll be all right, start with myself. I got to play better. And tonight, the loss, I'm going to take full responsibility of tonight because the way I played was unacceptable, and I'm going to be better. So I'm not worried one bit. My job is to make sure I continue to come out and will and lead our guys and make sure we have a chance to win a game.
Russ, you guys were up 10 midway through the second quarter. Things sort of went downhill the rest of the game. What happened there what happened in the first quarter and a half that you didn't get around to doing in the last 2.5 quarters?
Next question.
Was that last night? Or was that game 1? That second sound from Russell Westbrook refusing to answer the question. I don't believe that was last night. I believe that was after game 1, correct? Well, listen. I personally think that any basketball-related question they should answer, but clearly Russell Westbrook appears to have a problem with a particular reporter asking the question. And that had a lot to do with his no comments. It wasn't like he went up on the podium and was saying no comment to everyone, according to what I was told. It was no comment to a particular reporter. Nevertheless, here's what it comes down to. Damian Lillard put on the show. Had 29 last night, 10 of 21 shooting, 4 of 8 from three-point range, step back 3 over Raymond Felton, pulled up from 30 over Russell Westbrook. I mean, Damian Lillard put on a show. Put on an absolute show. Having said all of that, here's the deal. Damian Lillard Is it not time to recognize that this man may be first team All NBA? Even ahead of Steph. I'm not saying he's better than Steph. I'm not saying I'd rather have him than Steph. That's not what I'm saying, because Steph is something special, meaning Steph Curry. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, based on this year's level of production, when you consider what Damian Lillard has been working with, and when you consider what Steph Curry has been working with, when you consider the fact that Damian Lillard has missed 24 games in 7 years, he's played 96% of the games that he's been available for the Portland Trailblazers in his career. This dude has been a workhorse. He's been he produces. He's averaging 26 and 7. He led Portland to 53 victories this year. It's just undeniable what we're seeing from Damian Lillard. And based on what we're seeing, is it not time to start talking about him as first team All NBA for this particular season? Not saying he's better. Not saying you'd rather have him over Steph or whatever. I'm saying, is it not time to recognize that he may have had the best season of any point guard in the NBA this year? Is it not time to recognize that? Because I think it is. I think we have to do that. Damian Lillard led the Portland Trailblazers 53 wins. CJ McCollum was out for a little while. Nurkic is out for the rest of the season. What do you have? You got Maurice Harkless, Al-Farouq Aminu, Enes Kanter, Rodney Hood, Evan Turner, Seth Curry, Myers Leonard. I mean, what the hell is Damian Lillard playing with? No disrespect to any of those guys. I mean, this brother's going out there night in, night out, getting it done. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, you simply can't ignore what we're seeing before our very eyes, what's transpiring as we speak. Somehow, some way, at some point, we're going to have to stand up and pay attention. Because this is what Damian Lillard is bringing to the table. Now, it doesn't help that you've been swept and been bounced out the last 2 years. That doesn't help. But we never expected but so much from Portland anyway. We expect them to make the playoffs, and then we expect them to go home. But Damian Lillard, after the way they got bounced out by the Pelicans in last year's postseason, speaking to him, interviewing him last week, this brother like, yo, I went home and watched film. Sometimes it's got to be downs before there are ups. And you got to pay attention to what you may have done wrong. And he talked about how he was being double teamed and triple teamed and being trapped, and how it wasn't just about Drew Holiday guarding him one-on-one last year. And he talked about what it was a surprise to him and how he didn't expect it, even though this is his 5th consecutive year in the postseason. He talked about all of these things and how he would be ready. And sure enough, he is ready. And he's balling. And we have to look at it from the perspective that now we're going to have to take this a little bit more seriously on 2 fronts. Number 1, the ascension of Damian Lillard. And number 2, the potential demise of Russell Westbrook. Now, I believe in Russell Westbrook. I think Russell Westbrook is a superstar. I think he's the most athletic point guard we've ever seen in NBA history. I think he's an athletic freak of nature. His speed, his agility, his athleticism, he's unstoppable. He can do what he wants to do outside of hitting threes. But it's undeniable what's taking place in this series. In this series, Russell Westbrook is shooting 10% from three-point range, 1 for 10. In this series, he's just not playing well. Guarded by Damian Lillard directly last night, he shot 3 of 13 from the field during the times that Lillard was guarding him. 3 for 13 with 4 turnovers. These are just things we can't ignore any longer. Plus, him and Damian Lillard compete against one another on the court. They're in each other's faces. I don't know them personally to know whether they really, really like or dislike one another. I just know how it appears on the basketball court. And they go at it with each other because Damian ain't backing down and Russell ain't backing down. And so now that you've got a situation where Damian Lillard spent game 2 giving them the business, Russell Westbrook has to respond. Now, he did last year when he went up against Ricky Rubio. The problem is Damian Lillard ain't no Ricky Rubio. That's a different animal that we're talking about with Damian Lillard. And now we've got to sit up there and turn our attention to Russell Westbrook for this reason. Since Kevin Durant left, you've gone home in the first round both years. Now, going home in the first round 2 years ago, that meant nothing. You still got league MVP. Damn it, you deserved it. You were Herculean. You were phenomenal. And you had no help, even though Victor Oladipo was your teammate. And we didn't know that Victor Oladipo was what we've learned he is. And by the way, blessings to him, wishing him nothing but a speedy and full recovery, because Victor Oladipo is something special. But we didn't know that when he was in Oklahoma City. We just knew he was good. But you went over in the first round. And then last year, you lost to Utah with Paul George. You lost to Utah with Paul George. And then last night, Paul George shows up, hit us 11 to 20 shots. Finishes with 27 points. Played a really good game. But you did it. And so now we have to look at Russell Westbrook with a different kind of vision. We got to start asking ourselves, if you're Russell Westbrook, what do you have to do? We got to start asking ourselves, if you're Russell Westbrook, what do you truly deserve? Kyrie Irving has a title. Russell Westbrook does not. Steph Curry has a title. Russell Westbrook does not. Better team, sure. But once upon a time, Russell Westbrook, albeit when he was younger, still had James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Reggie Jackson, and Kevin Durant, all on the same team. He did go to the finals, lost to Miami, did go to the Western Conference Finals up 3-1 before losing to Golden State. The year that LeBron beat Golden State in 7 games. After being given that stimulus package by the league when they suspended Draymond Green for that bogus kick in Game 4 after getting knocked to the floor by LeBron. Either way you slice it, Russell Westbrook has had opportunities. And we're talking about a guy universally recognized as a star in this league, a superstar talent in this league. And it's his team. And ever since he's been the number one guy officially, they haven't gotten out of the first round. If that doesn't change, how do we start talking about Russell Westbrook? How should he be seen? I would never disrespect that brother by talking about he's overrated. That's ridiculous. Because as a talent, the dude is superb. And Russell Westbrook could be on my team any day of the week. Because he never cheats you with effort. He goes 100 miles per hour all the time. And he brings the rain. But three-point shooting is not his strength. And decision-making is spotty. And when you have those two elements working against you, one of them somewhat, the other completely and unadulteratedly so, you got to make adjustments. Of all the games that I'm interested in seeing, as interested as I am in seeing the Clippers host the Warriors Thursday night, as interested as I am in seeing Boston, Indiana, Philly, Brooklyn, as interested as I am in seeing all of those things, I can't wait for Friday night at Oklahoma City Game 3. Because if Russell Westbrook gets outplayed in that game, series is over. Series is over. That's the way I view it. That's the way I see it. I don't give a damn what anybody says. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Another thing I wanted to get into, San Antonio and Denver. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've heard me speak about the Denver Nuggets, you've heard me question what kind of a season they would have. You've heard me question how productive they would be in the postseason. And it's been primarily due to their youth, particularly going against a veteran squad like the San Antonio Spurs, who shouldn't have lost last night after having a 19-point lead. But I will tell you this. Ladies and gentlemen, did you see Jamal Murray? Did you see Jamal Murray? Out of Kentucky, did you see this guard finish with 24 points, 22 in the second half, 21 points in the fourth quarter? He went and hit 8 straight shots at one point. It was a sensational performance. Sensational. Unstoppable. It was unreal. He hit everything. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this brother can shoot. I've been a Jamal Murray fan for a long time because he can really, really stroke it. And I love the fact that he loves having the ball in the fourth quarter. I love that about him. But I'm here to tell you something right now. When you see a performance like that in the fourth quarter, particularly when the coach, in tribute to Coach Mike Malone, who didn't take him out of the game, he played like garbage for the first half. And Mike Malone said, yo, we got a problem. I know you think we got a problem because you know you're playing bad. Just play. I love you. I'm sticking with you. I'm not taking you out of the game. And sure enough, Jamal Murray answered the call. I'm telling you right now, I've seen some epic performances. I've seen Isaiah Thomas score 25 in the third quarter of an NBA Finals against the Lakers when he went on a messed up ankle. There were greater performances than Jamal Murray, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't take away from the fact that that was one sensational performance that young brother put on. It was something to behold. And if he plays like that, and if he gets confidence to the point where he's hitting shots, not just in the fourth quarter, but throughout, they're going to beat San Antonio. And I'm not convinced they're going to beat San Antonio. But I know they'll beat San Antonio if he shoots like that. These playoffs are nice, man. These playoffs are really, really nice. But I will say this. Disaster is on the horizon. Something catastrophic could happen to the to the NBA playoffs. If this happens, something catastrophic is going to take place with these NBA playoffs. It cannot happen or it will ruin the entire playoffs. I'm going to tell you what that is in just a minute. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. That was Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. You're listening live to Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Back with your calls and more in a minute.
Craving even more of Stephen A?
Him of